What's up, Heather? How you doing? How's your October been? Watching a lot of movies I see based off your letterboxd. I just watched. I don't know if you saw or not on my letterbox, but I just watched the three basket case films this week. It's fun. It's like the I don't know how manyth time that I've seen the first one, and then I'd actually never seen the second or third one before, so that was brand new for me. That was fun. And yeah, my October's been good. On the first, I already started watching horror movies, and then I just wasn't feeling like it felt like October yet. But as soon as I watched a film that's coming out on Thursday the 15th on Shudder, as soon as I watched The Mortuary Collection, then I just felt like immediately in the mood for October. I was like, now that movie felt like October, it felt like Halloween, so now I like feel like I'm in that mode. And then ever since then, I've just been kind of riding high on the season. So watched plenty of horror movies. I think I'm at 18. I think I've watched 18 thus far. Be watching more tomorrow, obviously. Got to do a screener for 32 Malasana Street. That one's not this coming week, but the week after that. And then just whatever I feel like, pretty much. Yes, Chloe, I love you too. Yes. You can come over here if you want to, buddy. Marshall popping in with the trivia already. Name the movie with this iconic line: "Tequila is my lady, my lady." Cabin in the Woods? That's an easy one, Marshall. Nice. Oh, how many do you have thus far, Heather? And I shoot for 31 horror films in October, but for the past bunch of years I've actually been going further than that. I think last year I did like 38 maybe, and the year before that I was like 35. It keeps getting like more and more every single year, which is fun. Oh, today's Ed Wood's birthday. We should all watch Plan 9 from Outer Space. Cool. Thanks for that fact, John. Appreciate that. Yeah, 1 point for me for easily knowing the Cabin in the Woods. 11. Okay. That's not bad, though. I mean, you're one ahead of what day it is, so you're good, Heather. The other thing is I have a little bit of a advantage because what I've been doing is taking off. Well, this will be my second Monday off this Monday, but I took off every Monday in October so that I can watch more horror movies and kind of celebrate. Oh, Uncle Pete, you're watching more random movies. What are some of the more random films you've been watching? Oh, DVDs, nuts, and popcorn. What's up? Tight white, right? Yes. What's up, ladies and gents? I'm at 20. What? You're already at 25 for the month? Just watched Fear Farm. I've heard of that one. I've not seen it. I know it gets mixed reviews, but besides one annoying character, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I know what you're talking about with one annoying character. When I watched Basket Case 3 this week, there's one character, Little Hal, the character of Little Hal in there, cannot stand him. Awful. The Scare House? I've never even heard of the Scare House. Is that like haunted house or is that like haunted house attraction horror film? Marshall's at 10. All right, good. You're one per day. That's nice. Amazon will recommend horror movies based on others I watched. Okay, cool. That works. That's good. Has anyone seen A Tale of Two Sisters and understood it the first time? John, actually, this is another one of those what the hell things for me. I own A Tale of Two Sisters. I haven't watched it yet. And I've owned it for like years, like many years. I have a bunch of movies like that where I was in this phase of like, I would go places and buy a bunch of DVDs and Blu-rays and then just wouldn't get around to watching them. So 25, yeah. You're at 2, Jake? Jake, you gotta up your game, buddy. Step it up. I assume you've probably been busy. Haunted House in a Sorority House. Revenge thriller. Ooh, that sounds good, Uncle Pete. I might have to check that one out. Tale of Two confused me. Never rewatched it. Okay. I'll watch it eventually. Another one that I've had for a while that I haven't watched yet that I might watch this month finally is Chan-wook Park's Thirst, which I've been meaning to watch it because like I love Chan-wook Park. He's actually my favorite director. I just have had it and I just keep forgetting that I have it. But then I saw it today when I pulled out the thing because I have it alphabetized. Yeah. Yeah, Marshall's right. You still have 21 days, Jake. Get your head down and go. It was enjoyable, something new with the twist in the movie. Cool, Uncle Pete. Nice. And you got, yeah. Oh, the blood test scene at the moment when you're watching it. I love that. That's like the most tense scene, hands down. What I have on, I went with something that wouldn't distract me much, but I can look over and enjoy if there are lulls, and that's the new Gulag on Shudder, the one that Michael Dougherty did. It's they've just been running that on loop. It's pretty cool because if you really listen to it, there's sounds in the background from Trick or Treat, which I quite enjoy. I'm up to film number 10, Green Inferno. Oh, cool. John, I enjoyed Green Inferno enough, but one of the things I didn't really like about it is the comedy felt a little. It felt like it kind of threw the film off for me. Like I liked it more when he would do comedy like he did with the Hostel films, Eli Roth, where it would be like comedy to begin with, but then as soon as the horror stuff started, no comedy. Like, I prefer it that way, but the fact that in Green Inferno he kind of like kept comedy mixed in throughout, I didn't really like it because it felt like it really took away from the intensity of the film. But that said, I enjoyed it enough. I should rewatch it. Oh, and the Blu-ray cover that they put out for that through Scream Factory looks phenomenal. Such a great cover. So I'd have flamethrower during the blood test scene. If the flamethrower worked, it would have killed the other two guys tied to the couch. LOL. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And that's the thing, like, watching it however many times you've watched it, you pick up on additional things, because you're not going to catch everything the first time, or even second, or even third time. You just pick up on new stuff all the time, pretty much. Live action Spider-Verse? Ooh, that's interesting. Oh, by the way, I went with proper t-shirt. Yeah, I figured I better pull out my Fright Crate The Thing shirt, so made sure properly. Okay, so let's just go ahead. We'll do talking about The Thing first, and then we'll get into the trivia, but to kind of tease the trivia for you guys, since it is actual Trivial Pursuit horror trivia, there are 6 separate categories. There's paranormal, monster, gore/disturbing, psychological, comedy, and slasher. And it's not just film. It's like film, TV, books, numerous things. And it's old, it's newer, it's a mix. Because my wife read a bunch of them to me last weekend just to get a feel of what it is. And some of that stuff's really tough. And there are certain things that I saw them really going more towards. There were, John, you'll like this, there were a decent amount of Godzilla questions. And some other, a lot of focus on like the show Dark Shadows, actually, and like some older Hammer films, stuff like that. So the ones I was going through, not all focused on older stuff, but a good amount. Anyway, just a teaser. Watch the thing in exciting Blu-ray fashion. Yeah. Oh, wait. I gotta go back up. Yes, I want to see Andrew Garfield back as Spidey. I thought Andrew Garfield did a solid job. Watching Cruel World with Jamie Presley and Edward Furlong tonight. Huh. Yeah, I haven't seen that. I would, though. Obscure title: Presley's smoking trailer park trash hot. Then I'm watching Hansel and Gretel get baked. I haven't seen that one either, and I do want to see that. It looks ridiculous. Same, not excited about Electro, though. Books. Do we need to know how to read? I mean, it might help. It might help. Bill Lancaster, the writer, is the son of Burt Lancaster. Oh, nice. That's cool. That's some good info. So, my overall thing, the one thing that I tell people initially about The Thing, if they haven't seen this iteration of it, which, by the way, I'm sure all of us know this is a remake of The Thing from Another Planet from, I think, the 50s. And the interesting thing is, in John Carpenter's first Halloween film, it's on the TV. That original film is on the TV. So I just find that kind of interesting, because then he went on to do this remake. So the one thing that I tell people all the time who haven't seen this version of The Thing is that it is high on suspense, high on suspicion, high on paranoia. And the thing I love about the film so much is the fact that you as an audience member don't know who is and is not infected for most of the time, although you usually assume that McCready is not, because it's kind of mainly from not initially, but it becomes kind of from his perspective a lot. And then the other thing is, you can see and you can feel how the other characters are looking at each other and thinking about each other, and just, you can understand the situation that they're in and how hard that must be to literally not only know about yourself. Like, okay, I'm not the Thing, but I don't know if, everyone else could basically be the Thing. So, that's what I love most about the film. Apocalypse Trilogy: The Thing, The Prince of Darkness, and In the Mouth of Madness. Yeah, John. And that's a pretty solid trilogy. Prince of Darkness is fine, but I'm not big on it. It's one of my lesser John Carpenter films, in my opinion. In the Mouth of Madness, really good, underrated. And this is interesting because actually, I'm going to go through that trilogy. The Thing, everyone knows it's amazing. Everyone brings it up. It's highly lauded. Everyone's like, amazing, amazing, amazing. Prince of Darkness, little lesser known, but I feel like people overhype that film. And then In the Mouth of Madness, way underappreciated. People don't talk about it enough. Gotta say, The Thing probably has the coolest environment for a horror movie. Snowy and white. 100% Marshall. And I made my wife watch the film with me this morning for the first time. She'd never seen it. Although, the way she watches horror films is more like she partially watches while she does stuff on her phone. So, like, she's looking up every now and then and listening. But I was pointing out to her, I was just like, isn't that beautiful? Like, the shots, even now, like, those like, wide shots of the outpost and just the white. Not only is it gorgeous, but it appropriately conveys how isolated they are. It's pretty awesome. And the fact that they established that so early on in the film is really important, because you go into it knowing, okay, there's no civilization around. These guys are really, really isolated, so that when things start happening, they don't have to say, oh, but we're so isolated. Like, you already know that as an audience member. So your mind on your own goes to those types of thoughts. Like, oh my God, how are they going to get help? They're so screwed. That stuff. This movie still holds up. Direction, acting, special effects, storyline, 100% agree. Uncle Pete, totally agree. This movie, yeah, it holds up. And the special effects, the practical effects by Rob Bottin, amazing, love it. And I said to my wife, I was like, this is the prime example of why you should always do practical effects when you can instead of computer graphics. Because look at this film. Both of those things are in that film. Look at the computer graphics in there with the chess game and with the when Blair was looking at the tissue with the alien cells, I guess. That looks horrible now, but the practical effects still looks amazing. Just saying. I saw the Halloween 78 in theaters. So epic. Yeah, I bet that was a good time, Marshall. Yeah, that would be good in theaters. Real good. Did you see The Shining in theaters yet? Did that happen yet? I don't think that happened yet. Maybe it did. Let me know. Hold the stream. I need to watch The Thing for the 100th time. I forget to view it. I mean, just go off what you remember. That's fine, Mr. Tightwhite. Or I'll just say Tightwhite. Yeah. That must have been awesome, Marshall. Yeah. It was nice. The setting in The Thing was as impactful as the monster itself. I agree with that, Uncle Pete. I mean, it was almost a character in itself, and I would say that other films that do that similarly, The Shining does that really well. You know, where the hotel obviously is the setting is extremely important and kind of feels like a character. Also, Alien, the ship, the Nostromo, I believe, same ordeal. It has the best dog actor. I agree with that. And I found myself, Marshall, I was wondering while I was watching the film, how many takes did it take with that dog? You know, how trained is that dog really? A lot of the indoor scenes were filmed in Universal Studios where the temp was over 80 degrees. Well, that's more comfortable for the crew members, for sure. In the Mouth of Madness needs to be talked about so much more. It's an incredible movie, top tier John Carpenter. Yeah, In the Mouth of Madness is awesome. I think in general, though, other than Reanimator, H.P. Lovecraft inspired films don't really get enough hype just because they're weird. They're kind of odd. Sounds like she's supportive at least. Opening Alaskan cinematography is breathtaking. Yes, and that's true, Jake. My wife is supportive with my horror nerdiness, basically. She's a good sport. She entertains the idea of watching horror films in October, and sometimes not in October. I had her watch Ginger Snaps, and she actually said she thought it was pretty decent. She also actually liked Ready or Not. I had her watch that as well, and she enjoyed that one. The Thing 2011 would have been 100 times better if the studio didn't insist on using CGI. 100% Uncle Pete. Stupid studios sticking their hands in things. Sometimes it's been a positive throughout history, but a lot of times not. I haven't seen The Shining yet, but hopefully I do. They closed down the Regals. Oh, so I might have to go to AMC. Are they doing it? They probably are doing it at an AMC. But yeah, so cool. Yeah, agree, they may come back. Now you can customize those robot dogs for practical effects. Yeah, for real. The dog was half wolf. It was his first film. His first film? Wow, John. That's crazy. Very well behaved. Did a wonderful job. My favorite part of the thing was when they found the camp and the ship. Yeah, oh yeah. I love the movie, but I wanted more of the alien technology and backstory. Yeah, and Tightwhite, I think this is definitely one of those situations where this could have a good prequel. I started to hesitate a little bit as I was saying that, because it then occurred to me that when other people handle these types of things, sometimes they're really trash. So having a prequel for this, I would say would be good if John Carpenter decided to do it. I think that would be fun. And that points to another thing, the whole thing about finding the ship. A lot of people forget when they're talking about The Thing that this is an alien invasion film. Well, not invasion, but it's an alien film. And I think part of the reason that people forget about that is that the only time you see the space aspect of it is in the very beginning when you see the saucer in space going towards planet Earth. Then when it's found kind of underground, like poking up. And that's very much in the beginning. And then again at the very, very end, briefly, when you saw that Blair was building a smaller version of a ship. It's just not in it enough. I agree it was the best practical effects in the horror movie. Can't think of another horror movie other than The Howling and American Werewolf in London on par with the special effects. Yeah, I would agree with that, man. For sure. Sure, Uncle Pete. Ready or Not was a good surprise. Really dug it. Yeah, it was. It was just fun, and I thought the comedy in it was pretty nice. The bass they use as a backdrop sound at the beginning and at suspenseful times helped make the scenes. That's a great point, Uncle Pete. That's a great point. Yeah, that doom 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 doom. It's really good because it's not like consistent where they're just be going like doom 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 doom. Like the lull, like the pause in having that bass sound kind of makes it more suspenseful, I think. It kind of like makes you anticipate, at least the first time you hear it, like, when is that sound coming back? It's good. It's well done, and I think that's a good point. McCready with that hair and beard looks like the lead singer from the group Alabama, Randy Owen. Yeah, that's some wild hair and beard for sure, but I think it looks great. I think it looks awesome. He did a great job with that, growing all that. What's up, Rich? How you doing, man? We're talking about The Thing. The dog scene is still tough to watch. Yeah, the way they trained the dog to rip at the fence was something else. You saw how batshit scared those dogs were. Very well done. Yeah, I agree. And when they went like tearing out, the ones that got out, when they went tearing out of there, like fast gone. I have 2 copies of The Shining on Laserdisc. Wow. But I found The Shining today on Blu-ray for $1. What? That's amazing, man. That's crazy. $1 on Blu-ray? That's amazing. You got to do that, Tightweight. I'm sure you did. They never show the creature's true form. How was the creature able to operate their spaceship? It's a good point, John. And that's one of the things I was planning on bringing up, is that you never know what the creature actually looks like. You never know what the thing actually looks like because it's always changing. And that leads to another question of, when would you theorize it ever has a true form? I'm not sure it ever actually has a true form because of the nature of what they lay out for the creature in the film. You know, they say that it just keeps like inhabiting other things, like mimicking other things. So I have a feeling that the only time that it's in its original form is when it's birthed, you know, however that happens. But then again, maybe not even then, because its form of like birth is potentially, breaking off and replicating something else. Just a thought, just to get you going. If I were to remake The Thing, I would make John McCready say, "Whiskey is my lady, my lady." Many times where he could, because man, that guy drinks. Like, how many times he's like, "I need a drink," or he is drinking. I like when he poured the rest of his drink in the chess computer and was like, "Cheating bitch," and fried it. Although, like, why would you do that? Like, you don't have a whole lot of entertainment there. Yeah, Rich, Ready or Not was good, man. Original what? The Thing? No, the remake, man. When I first watched The Thing, I didn't like it. It took me a second watch, and after more, I love it now. Well, and I'll tell you, Marshall, I wasn't huge on The Shining the very first time I saw it, honestly. I saw it in college. I was relatively young. I wasn't huge into horror. And then the second time I saw it, I was like, oh, hold on. This is awesome. And then I've seen it so many times since, and I feel like I just love it more every time I watch it, pretty much. So I get that. There were no women in the film or behind the cameras, well, except for the poster of the VD lady on the wall on the blood testing scene. Yeah, that was kind of a funny back of the scene thing. But yeah, good point. Yeah, no women involved with it. There was a woman, was it for the documentary In Search of Darkness? It may have been. There's a woman director who was being interviewed about the fact that there were no women involved with the thing, and she didn't seem to have a problem with it at all. I think she had made some sort of comment to the effect of, like, based off of the story and the setting, like, you needed to have it be all men, really, just because of that kind of, like, how the masculinity and the testosterone, like, gets ramped up so much, and then to, like, bring it to the kind of crescendo of suspicion and paranoia and, you know, fisticuffs, basically, that it gets to. You just needed to be all dudes. Yeah, the original one. One of my top 10. Yeah. The original, The Thing from Another Planet, Rich, is one of your top 10? Because I've not seen it. The one from like the 50s. I do need to watch it. Yes, I did see that, John. Right before I jumped on, I didn't have time to respond to it, but yeah, I saw that. The poster's pretty funny. Just ordered the DVD box set of Universal Monsters films. Ooh, Christina, I have not seen any of them either. So let me know when you start digging into that. Let me know how they are, how you feel about it, because I've also thought about doing the same thing, getting like a box set of it and starting to hit up those Universal Monsters films, because that's one of my blind spots. That and like old Hammer films, that's another one. So yeah, let me know how you feel about those when you start digging into them. What year is this Ready or Not movie you guys are discussing? Oh, Tight White, 2019. Oh, they got it. John Carpenter said he left all that stuff open to interpretation so the fan can decide what happened or what will happen. Yeah, Uncle Pete. And that's the thing is, John Carpenter is very much into not telling people what his intent was with films. Now, I don't know if that's because with a lot of the films he actually approaches them from a more ambiguous perspective, just because of the reason of, everyone can figure out what it means to them, or if he has a certain thing in mind for him, but he doesn't say that stuff publicly because he wants the film to be more personalized for everyone. I have heard him being interviewed, and he says, it's up to everyone's interpretation. It's whatever they think. Like, you cannot nail him down to tell you what these types of things mean in his film. It's always like, whatever you think. But I think that's kind of cool because it ensures that those films can be super special to each individual person, and it's not going to interpret the same. And that's one of the, I know I've kind of said this before, but that's one of the things I love about doing this horror movie chat, because we're watching the same films and then we're having different perspectives on it. Things that I think I see in the film you guys don't, or things you guys see in the film I don't. But then when we talk about it, we can kind of get to a point where we're like, oh, well, I could see where you could get that. I thought this. So it's awesome. The chess computer cheated. Yeah, John, which is probably why. Well, I mean, that is why he put the drink. He dumped the drink in it and fried it. The most odd thing was who thought it was a good idea for Dr. Cooper to wear a gold nose ring. Yeah, John. I had never processed that from the movie until you tweeted that to me, and I was like, yeah, what was that choice? Like, it's so weird. It's such an odd choice. And then also oh crap, who's that character? The cook, the chef there. He's like on roller skates all the time. Like, who thought of that too? I think the characters here are the best for a horror movie. I agree with that. They're really good. They're all smart and don't make many dumb decisions. They're pretty wise for the most part. Witch Marshall, I think the reasoning for that too is that it's like a research facility. So you would think that everyone there would have to be really smart to a degree. So yeah. And because that's the nature of what work they're supposed to be doing, you do get a great cast for a horror film. Especially because you don't get a whole lot of people going around making dumb decisions. Except maybe Windows a little bit. Like, he got really panicky. And Blair. But then again, we don't know when Blair got infected. Or maybe you guys do have a theory on that, which I would love to hear. In the beginning, no one was curious where the dog came from. Even with a scope, the helicopter shooter couldn't hit the dog. Yeah. Do they recognize it as a dog? That's one of the questions that arises from you talking about this, John. Do they recognize that it's a dog, or do they think it's a feral wolf and these people are going after it? But you raising that question is a good point of why do you not question why were they trying to kill this thing? Because they seemed extremely determined to the point where they were firing at other people. They hit the one guy and then moved past him to go after the dog. So yeah, that's a good point. Like, you would think that they would notice that and be like, why is he so focused on this dog? I think they were because they flew over to the place with the icebox. Who the heck goes after a grenade in the snow? Yeah, it's a good question. There's a 30 film Universal Monsters movie box set on Amazon Blu-ray, 109. 30 films for 109 bucks. That's a deal. It's a pretty good deal. Production on the thing began in the mid 1970s. It did, Ty White? I didn't know that. I didn't think it was that early. That's crazy. A lot went into it. I mean, it seems very grand in scope for sure. For me, so there's a lot of stuff that's just interesting and kind of like pulls me in and piques my interest with the film. But one of the moment that I I remember most times when I watch it and I'm like very invested in watching it. The one moment that like makes me get that sinking feeling for the crew is the one when Blair is questioning Clark about how long he spent with the dog. Because that's like the earliest indicator of someone may be infected right now. And the first indicator that one of the members there, has thought about that. So I love that moment. Plus, let me just say, I think Wilford Brimley's performance in this was really good. I think everyone did a good job with it, but certain people really stick out. Obviously, Kurt Russell. Obviously, Keith David. And then I would say Wilford Brimley, in my opinion. Supposedly, they spent $1.5 million on the creature effects. Doesn't surprise me at all. Tightweight, not at all. Those things look amazing. They're very intricate. There's a lot of it. And I will tell you that my favorite of the practical effects scenes is the one. Well, it all kind of ties together. But the one guy, I forget the redheaded guy, when he's the thing, and they're doing the defibrillator, and the doctor's arms go through, and it bites on him. That, and then transitioning to when they're burning the body, the head detaching itself, and then growing legs and trying to walk out. I love that sequence. That sequence looks so amazing. And funny and creepy all at the same time. The guy takes a new dog to the kennel, and as he leaves, he turns out the lights in the kennel. But when the group goes to the kennel, for some reason they did not turn the lights on. We see MacReady use a flashlight. Yeah, why would that be? Yeah, that's weird. I think it's crazy that John Carpenter was panned and berated for making The Thing. He lost directing movies because of it. Well, and this is the thing, Uncle Pete. When movies come out, they don't necessarily get the audience that they ultimately deserve. Because there have been plenty of films throughout history, and probably ones coming out now, that just get panned. People just, they say bad things about them, but they're actually really good films. It's just people weren't ready for them at the time. Or, they just age better. I don't know. There are plenty of films like that. All the time when I'm watching movies and doing reviews and researching, I find all the time, this film failed, but people are talking about it all the time now, decades later, because people love it. People think it's an outstanding film. But back then, when it was released, people thought it was crap. It's crazy. Screw E.T. for coming out around the same time. Yeah, and that's a good point, Marshall. That's another thing that ends up happening is, who were they fighting against in the cinema? For sure. When the group goes to the kennel... Oh, I already read that one. I jumped ahead for that. Norris. Okay, the chess person. It was Norris. Got it. Thank you, Uncle Pete. Thank you for that. A lot of people don't remember, but the movie was negatively received upon release. I believe it was released at the same time as E.T. Yeah, Tightweight. That's just rough. It Chapter 2 did the head with the spider legs. Such a disgrace for a film that only used CGI. Yeah, Marshall, I watched Chapter 1. I have not yet watched Chapter 2. I wanted to, but then people started saying they didn't like it. And then I still will get to it at some point. It's just, it's not high on my list anymore because I heard so many disparaging things about it. So it'll happen, but it's gonna be some time. Cause okay, so there was a theory. I don't know if anyone else has heard this, but there was a theory that had been thrown out that in the very end of the film, when McCready and Childs are sitting there and basically being like, we're watching each other until we die. When Childs takes a swig of the booze, someone was throwing out a theory somewhere online that there was gasoline in that bottle. So when McCready saw Childs drink it, he knew he was a thing. But then I look at that and I'm like, I mean, that would be interesting and that would be cool. But I don't. Watching the movie today, I didn't see any indicator that that would actually be. So I think it was more of just someone thought it would be cool if, which yeah, it would be. But just want to throw that out to you guys. I agree, Marshall, that in It was dumb. They even put in, you got to be fucking kidding me. Yeah, one of those moments of, a nod to another film happens all the time. Some comments state that they used to stop motion. They used stop motion, but no, it was reverse photography. Yeah, that makes sense. And it looks better that way. I mean, I love stop motion, but for more modern times, like, it just doesn't work that great. The reverse photography is better. Marshall, Uncle Pete, huge eye roll. Like that. There's no reason to believe that theory. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, John. There isn't. But I just wanted to throw it out there because I don't know if one of you guys saw something different that I didn't, or if you guys thought that would be cool if that was at play there. There was a video game, The Thing, and in the game, Childs freezes to death and Mac is not there. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. Oh, that's really interesting. John Carpenter said that was canon, but I heard that about Childs and the bottle. Okay, you did as well. But there was no evidence to give that theory any credit. Yeah, there you go. And that's the video game thing is a good point to bring up. There's a board game based off of The Thing, and I've heard really good things about it. I've heard it's actually kind of hard to pick up to start playing because there's a lot of rules and it's kind of intricate. But once you get it down, it's a lot of fun, and it's more for a larger group of people. It's called Outpost 31, and apparently the whole thing is, I think you can play a few different ways. One or two people are the thing, and you have to go around and like do tasks at the outpost, and secretly the people who are the thing, their tasks are to sabotage things, while everyone else's task is to, fix things and, do other stuff that's positive for the group. But it sounds really awesome. Now, that said, I don't know if you guys have heard about this new video game called Among Us that's been very popular right now. Now, that video game is very much inspired by The Thing because it's the same thing. It's literally a video game where people go around and do tasks around a space station and try and figure out who the imposters are, who are trying to work against them and killing them. It's the same thing. So I say that to say there's been a lot of influence from how spectacular The Thing has been, but not just The Thing, but the story. And the story, the iteration of John Carpenter's The Thing story is done really, really well. It's phenomenal. Now, I don't know what the story's like for the original, The Thing from Another Planet. I do want to check that out so I know. But at least the beginnings of that story started there. And so for that reason, very awesome. So the influence has gone very far. I also hated when The Thing was playing in the movie The Lodge. The girl said, "Can we play something else?" I literally screamed at my TV. Yeah, Marshall. I enjoyed The Lodge, by the way, but bleak. And it does have problems, too. Like logic problems, plot holes. Movie was already boring, and that made it worse. Yeah, I know some people who really hated The Lodge, but I enjoyed it enough. So John Carpenter has said on record neither one of them were a thing. Okay. And that's what I figured. I mean, that's what it felt like to me. Remember the scene in the kennel when the dog head opened up and what looked like a flower and its petals? I do. It was a bunch of dog tongues and with teeth coming out. I'm going to have to go back and watch that. That's interesting. Yeah, to me it looked like, if you watch Stranger Things, kind of like when the Demogorgon opens up. That's what that looked like. John Carpenter stated that the video game was canon. Make of that what you will. Yeah, it's kind of conflicting then. Oh, okay. So, Marshall, elaborate. In your mind, why is Child's the thing? Because that video game? Among Us has been out for a while, but is just now getting popular. Yeah. I don't know how long it's been out, Heather. I've just started to hear about it recently. And before I started hearing about it, I watch Twitch every now and then. I was seeing people starting to play it on Twitch, and I was like, oh, that's kind of fun looking. But now it's like, people play it a lot on Twitch now. Carpenter stated that he didn't know if he was infected. Okay. They use anamorphic format aspect ratio, believing that it allowed for placing several actors in an environment, making use of the scenic vistas available, while still creating a sense of confinement. Nice statement. Yeah, I get that, Tightweight. Cool. He being Childs. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was going to ask if anyone is into gaming. Maybe get a group together to play horror games. Oh, that's a cool idea, Heather. Yeah, I have an Xbox, so I would be down. I have the Friday the 13th game. It's probably the only horror game I have at the moment. But yeah. In the original, The Thing from Another Planet, there really is no thing in disguise among the people in the outpost. Okay. Interesting. I'll have to check it out, though. I'm down, Heather. I collect games, have a gaming YouTube channel, and a movie and food review channel. Yes, Tightweight, I still need to check out your channels. Leave me a comment on one of my videos reminding me, and then I'll remember, because I'll see it, and sometimes I just, Child's is in one of the best horror movies, and Child's Play is one of the best horror franchises. Coincidence? I think not. Hey, Marshall, I respect your love for Child's Play. Not that big of a fan of it. I love the voice acting that Brad Dourif does, which, by the way, right now I'm watching the show Deadwood, and Brad Dourif is the doctor in Deadwood, the town. He's awesome. Every time he comes on the screen, I'm like, Brad Dourif, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I'm just not huge on Child's Play. I've only seen in its entirety the first Child's Play, and then The Curse of Chucky and Cult of Chucky. Obviously, I need to see the other ones, and I will. It's just, it's just not that scary to me or interesting. Dolls don't do it for me, for the most part. Did Dr. Blair really touch dead dog with a pencil eraser, then put the eraser to his lips? Did he, John? Maybe. I don't know. Well, and maybe that's the point at which he becomes a thing, or starts to become a thing. Because I was saying before, like, I didn't know when that started for him. Child's Play franchise is alright. Oh, okay, thank you, Marshall. I was like, man, Marshall's really high on the Child's Play series. Okay, to each their own. I know some people don't understand my love of the franchise series, especially because I like Ravager. A lot of people are like, oh, Ravager's so terrible. I love it. I can't help it. Horror trope. The film had its oh no cells reception moment when the flamethrower didn't work during the blood testing scene. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Now, going back to the Blair thing, the way I kind of viewed it when I was watching the film is that you still not knowing if Blair was a thing or not, you could see him destroying all the stuff as either him being a thing and trying to like really screw things up, or him just going a little bit overboard and thinking we need to stay isolated and keep this thing from reaching civilization, because they had just had the scene not long before that where he was figuring out the actual calculation of it would take this long to infect the entire population of the Earth if it gets out of here. I love Child's Play franchise. People hate it, but I love it. Bride of Chucky. And see, I haven't seen Bride of Chucky. I need to. The first two and Cult of Chucky are the best ones. Okay. Yeah, I thought Cult of Chucky was solid. Cult of Chucky was the one with where they brought the original actor back, and then they had he had Chucky's head that he was keeping. I thought that was kind of cool. It was the part where he was describing to the group how the thing was imitating its victims. Okay. When I watch it again, I'll have to pay attention, because I just ordered it on Blu-ray. I've been watching on DVD for a while. I just ordered it on Blu-ray, so I'll have to give it another go and look for that. That's a theory for how Blair was turned. The theory is it slowly took him over, starting with a single cell. They mentioned that one cell can take over a host. Okay, yeah, and if you remember, not only this theory, this thing that John's pointing out about him touching the blood and then touching his lips, but also Blair was the one dissecting the initial thing that was found. So, yeah. He was in, closest contact with it initially. It's my favorite franchise, but I acknowledge the flaws with it. It does have flaws, but I have a lot of love for it. Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. No horror franchise is perfect. You have to accept it for everything it is. I mean, hell, the Friday the 13th franchise, people talk about all the time and love, love, love it. There are a lot of problems with those movies. Especially the later movies get pretty crappy. A scene with MacReady absent-mindedly inflating a blow-up doll while watching the Norwegian tapes was filmed, but was not used in the finished film. Oh, that's funny. The doll would later appear as a jump scare with Knowles. Huh, that's interesting. Thank you for that info, Tight White. That's cool. I think Childs is the thing because he drank the Molotov cocktail and the theme started playing. John also smiled because that's pure alcohol, so he fooled him. I don't know. Is that what happened, though, Marshall? Like, there's nothing that specifically points to that being the case. That was definitely a Molotov cocktail? I don't know, man. I could see that, but... And that's... this whole thing right now is what points to the fact that the movie is so good, because we're going back and forth so much about when did this person become infected, who was infected at the end. Every time you watch it, or at least for me personally, every time I watch it, I find myself retracing the steps and looking for more information, and just as things are happening, trying to document in my head, and okay, now this person was exposed to it right now, so how are they going to react in a little bit, yeah, and just also going into it knowing later in the film who is a thing, and then trying to really pay attention to figure out where those moments could be when they started becoming a thing. But I hadn't, prior to talking right now for this, I hadn't really thought about Blair and, it starting with just a cell of it and taking over. I hadn't thought about it that way. Because it had seemed usually that it was really going after people more aggressively. So that's a good point. I think Child's Play... Oh, no, I'm sorry. By the way, if you have Dollar Trees in your area, I found Child's Play on Blu-ray for $1. It has new art on it. Wow. Man, some really good finds there, Tight White. How about this theory? There was no cold breath coming from Childs at the end, but tons of it coming from MacReady. Was there? And if that's the case, that's a good indicator. That would be a good indicator. Very interesting. See, this conversation is really good. Thank you, everyone. This is great. Love these theories. He had them when he was blowing up the place. It also didn't have the whiskey label on it. It's a good point. See, now I'm going to have to go back and rewatch the ending after we do this. I mean, I'll probably do it when I get my Blu-ray, but so I can, like, really see. Interesting. That's the theory I always went with, Marshall, the breath thing, and I've studied that scene to make sure there was no breath at all. Well, Uncle Pete, you're watching the film right now. So when it gets to the end, like, really pay attention to those things, the Molotov cocktail theory and the breath, and let us know what you're seeing. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a steal for the Blu-ray, Marshall. I mean, I got excited when I got Scream Factory right now is having like an October sale on a bunch of Blu-rays, and I got excited when I saw Candyman for $8.49. So had to jump on that because I don't own Candyman. Now I will. Okay, so there is no breath. Yeah, that's interesting. But then here's the thing. You wonder, like, was that intentional? Or was that just a mistake when they were filming? You would think it's probably intentional, but... My Blu-ray copy has an excellent commentary section with Carpenter and Russell. Oh, man. Yeah, I need to watch it with commentary for sure. Yep, that's why John suggested they stay there for a while to see what happens. Got it. You guys have educated me on some stuff. I didn't notice these things before. And I've watched it, I don't know how many times. At the blood cooler, we never discover who destroyed the bags of blood. Yeah, that's true. Didn't have a clue. I have to watch it with commentary. It's on the Shout Factory Blu-ray I have. That's the one I'm getting. All Dollar Tree movies are $1. They get mostly horror DVDs, but you get some Blu-rays every month. Every month? Okay, nice. Everyone take note. And also, if people are interested, like I was saying, Scream Factory is doing an October sale. So there are some good Blu-rays that are pretty cheap, including some steelbooks, and they're doing some box sets. So like they have the whole Fly collection or the whole Omen collection. They did have the whole Critters collection, but that sold out pretty quick. Didn't they see a guy with a flamethrower outside when the generator went out? Childs took the power out. That's why John asked where he was. Yeah, see, this is what I need to do, is that I need to rewatch the stream, write down all these points and questions, and then watch the movie and have them available as the movie's going on. And where did the McCready torn shirt come from? Right, someone went into his shack, I guess it was. Yeah, because there was that whole scene where he said he wanted to go to his shed, and they were like, why? He said, because when I left, I turned the light off, and then you see that there's a light on. But also, whose long johns were found in the garbage in the kitchen? That's another one, because the tag had been ripped off. That hand in the stomach scene. Does anyone know the story behind that? No, enlighten us, please. The best scene for me and the most terrifying is when the guy is sitting in the snow with his thing hands, surrounded by everyone, and lets out that scream. Man, what a scene. Yeah, it is pretty crazy. And it's interesting because you would assume in that situation that the thing would fight or try to fight, but why doesn't it? You know, like, is it just because it knows that it's in a situation that it just can't win the fight? I don't know. But yeah, it's a good scene. Especially as soon as the hands, like, lift up and you see how, like, messed up they are. They caught him mid-change. Is it possible that they were both the Thing at the end? Just saying, because this creature was pretty incredible, and we only know what we watched of it in the hour or so of the movie. I don't know, Tightweight, because I feel like if when multiple people are infected with it, that, like, since they both are things, that they would know each other as things. Maybe I'm just throwing that onto the film. That, they would have a sense of each other in a way. But I guess in the end, because like we were talking about how, like, it was more of like a slow infection with Blair. It's possible that it's like a slow infection with McCready, maybe, and Childs is already, or slow infection for both of them at that time. So they're still human, but they're changing at the time. So maybe. Were you guys moved by the dog transformation scene? I hear a lot of people say it freaked them out, and it was genuinely scary to them. I mean, it's, if you're watching it, like, alone in the dark, like, it's freaky, but, like, when I watch movies, I don't usually feel scared. Because I know it's a movie. Like, I'm watching it and knowing it's a movie. I know some people get sucked into movies so much that, like, they get lost. Like, and it's like that's their reality at the moment. Like, my dad actually does that with the Marvel movies. It's crazy because I watched all the Marvel movies with me. I watched all the Marvel movies with him in chronological order and story-wise. Or no, release-wise, I think. No, story-wise. Sorry. And I would look over every now and then, and when the fight scenes are happening, he's, like, moving in his chair like he was so into it. So some people really get sucked in. I'm not one of those people. I definitely got goosebumps. Okay. Nice. I agree with that, Marshall. It took me a long time to be able to watch the dog scene. Couldn't do it as a kid. Yeah, well, I mean, if you're young, that would be pretty scary. Yeah, I guess that would be pretty out there. But I was 5 or 6 when I first saw it. Jeez. Yeah, Uncle Pete. That's a tough one. Yeah, younger for sure was scary. The stomach chomped on fake arms that belonged to a double arm amputee. Really? Who had a replica face for Dr. Cooper. That's cool. That's a good way to do that scene, for real. That's a really good way to do it. Unless one alien can't recognize the other alien in human form. Yeah, and that's what I don't know, Tightweight. That's what I was trying to figure out. There's a lot of questions still about this flick. Where did the news come from? Yeah, John. It's a good question, but I assume that Blair made that himself as kind of like a joke for when people came and checked on him. I thought that was funny. That's funny. He's moving in his chair. He's fully immersed. Yeah, I know, Marshall. For the longest time, I never noticed that that's kind of how he watches action films until I started watching those movies with him, and then I just started seeing it all the time. It's crazy, but it's great because it's more intense. Like, it's funny because, like, I'd see him, like, dodging too. It's something, man. The head spider was awesome. Yes, Tightweight. The head spider is probably my favorite iteration of the Thing, just because I think it's freaky and creepy and funny at the same time. I like that mix. Trying to think if there's anything else that really needs to be brought up. I did think that the setup they had for the recreation room at the outpost was pretty cool. I mean, they had ping pong, they had a pool. I think that doubled as a pool table. They had that chess game system until McCready destroyed it. They had oh my gosh, why am I blanking on it? Not ping pong. whatever. They had plenty of booze too. That's another thing. Oh, and a jukebox. They had a jukebox. Um, it's funny because a lot of people know Wilford Brimley from his diabetes commercials. I've always known him from this movie. Yeah, Uncle Pete. I've had the pleasure of meeting Wilford Brimley before, and he is a surly dude. Well, was R.I.P. Past this year. I knew him most from my childhood as the grumpy old man living in the woods in the Battle for Endor, which is the second Ewok movie, because I watched that a lot. I told him about it, and I said how awesome that movie was to me as a kid, and how important it was, and how I loved him in it. And his response was, "You must have had a lot of patience as a kid," in a very grumpy tone. It's funny. Very evil, deadish, that spider. Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. When they burned down the buildings, that was a set at Universal. Really? Interesting. Foosball. Did they have foosball? Yeah, I think they did. Table tennis. I like the transformation when it gets all big before John blows everything up. They show pieces of men and the dogs. Yeah, yeah, that is a good scene. That's this one. Yeah, it is cool. It's kind of like the big finale where like every bit of everything that it's touched is coming out in some way. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, anything else on the thing? Because if we end up being done with the thing, then it will be time for trivia. You guys let me know. And then we'll also have to talk about what film we want to do for the next one. Because one or two films, we'll figure that one out. Because if we like the trivia thing, then maybe we'll do the trivia again next time and just do one movie. Or if we don't like the trivia that much, then we'll just do two movies. But we can figure that out. Liberty Medical commercial. Yeah, that was the diabetes. The diabetes. The beatus. The gulag. Uncle Pete seems ready for trivia. Anyone else? In which case, I'm going to keep score on my phone. Is where I want to do that. So. I give the thing 4.5 good boys out of 5. Good boy, good boy. What do you guys consider the best horror movie? Oh my gosh, come on. That's too hard, man. Jaws, The Shining, Silence of the Lambs, Halloween. I always say The Thing. I mean, The Thing is a good contender. I could see that. I would say The Shining. Yeah, I'd probably say The Shining for me personally. Because it doesn't just have, I mean, there's a psychological aspect, there's a supernatural aspect at the same time, there's, family trauma. It just wraps so much up together. False 1981. I've not seen The Shining yet, though. Yeah, well, hopefully you do like it. Rawhead Rex by a mile. Are you serious, John? I just watched Rawhead Rex for the first time not long ago. It's a pretty fun film. I'd say Romy and Michelle's high school reunion. Nice. My favorite horror movie will always be Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which, by the way, was going to be one of my potential suggestions for our next movie to cover, is Texas Chainsaw, because it's on Shudder still. So that atmosphere alone gives it a 5 out of 5. That's true. I agree with that, John. The atmosphere is... And that's one of the things, is like, environment, atmosphere plays so much in horror. So much. Obviously, very well seen in The Thing. You know, that level of isolation. Because isolation is done a lot in horror, but isolation to that level in The Thing... Like, I've never seen isolation that clear and scary in a film. Because you just can't get help. It's a good contender, yep. The Exorcist is really it for me. I saw it in the theater about 20 years ago, and it still shook me. Yeah, I could see that, Uncle Pete. Exorcist is great. Saw Texas Chainsaw Massacre first day of October. Nice. Everyone should already own Texas Chainsaw. I don't, though. I don't, Heather. I think it's a great film, but it's not one that I want to watch a lot. I think probably because it's kind of intense. So I have to be in the right mood. So that's why I don't own it. Yeah. Okay, so who all do we have who wants to participate in the trivia? So everyone who wants to participate in the trivia, and I'll be keeping score, just type in the chat the word in. Just IN. Okay, Marshall's in. Because it's competition. And we're going to go to 10 points. I mean, here's the thing. We're all going to be embarrassed because some of these questions are pretty damn hard. I will say that. Oh, yeah, I do already have 1 point. You're right, Marshall. Okay, so Heather, you in? So I got John's in, Marshall's in, Tight White's in, Uncle Pete's in. Okay. Well, you never know, Heather. Saying you're not good at trivia, you never know, though. You just never know. We'll see. Okay. So here's how it's going to work. We're going to go on the honor system, obviously. So don't look it up. I would prefer that everyone just go off the top of your head. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to read a question, and I'm just going to go down one full card. So it's going to hit every single category. So once again, there's paranormal, monster, gore and disturbing, psychological, comedy, and slasher. And again, it's not just movies. It's TV. It's books. It's, some other stuff. So I'm just going to go all the way through. Now, the first person to answer it correctly gets 1 point. And we're going to go to 10 points because there may be a bunch of questions where people don't know the answer, where no one knows the answer, because some of these questions are insane. So we'll just have to wait and see. So the first person to get to 10 points is the winner. And the way I want to do it is just as soon as you know, put it in the chat. If you don't know and you don't know, just put a question mark, just so I know that you've already attempted and you're just like, I just don't know, because that helps out, because then I can see everyone's answer. So yeah. But yeah, so the first person to come up with it, and please don't look online or anything. Honor system. I should get some handicap points for being old. No, John, that actually may be an advantage, being old, with this, based off some of the questions I saw. Tom Savini. Sorry, got ahead of myself with an answer. Actually, maybe not, because Tom Savini was an answer for one of the questions I answered that my wife asked me last week. It was, literally, this was one of the questions. Who did the practical effects for the kill scenes in the film The Prowler? And I was like, I know that, Tom Savini. Do we have to answer it in a form of a question? I'll put it this way, John. If you would like to answer it in the form of a question, you are welcome to do so. I would not penalize you for that. Okay, let's get to it, you guys. All right, so the first category is paranormal. Here we go. What language does young Miles speak that suggests he may be a serial killer reincarnated in The Prodigy, the film from 2019. I'll read it again. What language does young Miles speak that suggests he may be a serial killer reincarnated in The Prodigy, the 2019 film? Good luck with spelling. Okay, I see Marshall. No, Marshall. Yeah, I know, right? I haven't seen The Prodigy. I've been meaning to. Okay, so no to Marshall. Arabic. No. Okay, so everyone got it wrong. Okay, the right answer is Hungarian. Hungarian. I don't know, you guys. This is what I'm saying. This is why it's to 10 points, because there are going to be ones where none of us get it. And I didn't know that. Okay, so the next one is monsters. What kind of werewolves require a talisman to change in the Dresden Files book series? I've heard good things about it. Has anyone read the Dresden Files book series? I'm going to look at the answer. What kind of werewolves require a talisman to change in the Dresden Files book series? Yeah, tight weight. I don't read that many books either. Okay, so that's another one. Oh, wait. Do you have a guess on it, John? No, not gay werewolf. It's not, shit, what was that movie? Lesbian vampire hunters? Was that the movie that they had gay werewolf? Unless it's Stephen King books, I probably won't know any of the book questions. Okay. All right, so the answer for that one was Hexen wolves. And that was my problem. When my wife was reading me the questions, the book ones, I was just like, pass. Yeah, Hexen wolves. Okay, next this is probably more of John's category. Gore and disturbing. How does Constance kill the deformed twin attacking her in the movie Just Before Dawn from 1981? How does Constance kill the deformed twin attacking her in Just Before Dawn, movie from 1981? I'm going to look at the answer. Okay. No, Marshall, not decapitation. Not axe. Uncle Pete. Yeah. I was like, I haven't seen this movie. And that's the thing. Like, some of this stuff is obscure. Obscure. Fire? No, it's not fire. Okay. So nobody knows. Her fist. You would think it would be some sort of weapon, but her fist. Okay, moving on. Psychological. Here we go. What magazine originally serialized H.P. Lovecraft's At the Mountains of Madness from 1936? What magazine originally serialized H.P. Lovecraft's At the Mountains of Madness, 1936? Someone might know this. I don't know. It's another book one, though. A lot of book ones. I didn't even know this thing existed. I just looked at the answer. I've never even heard of this. Not Mad Magazine, not Time. 1936. I know, 1936. Tales to Astonish. No, not Tales to Astonish, but I don't think you're super far off based on that, Uncle Pete. Popular Mechanics. Nice. Okay, so no one got that one. It is Astounding Stories. Astounding Stories. Really old. Playboy. Yeah, there you go. Okay, someone is going to get this. I know someone's going to get this. This is from the comedy category. Which horror icon plays Leslie Vernon's therapist in Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon from 2006? Which horror icon plays Leslie Vernon's therapist in Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon, 2006? I know this one. Someone's got to have this. I think all of you guys have seen that movie. Amy Adams? No, Marshall. I don't think you've seen the movie, Marshall. Pee Wee Herman? Someone's got this. Come on. Someone has got this. Someone's gotta. Yeah. And if not, if nobody gets this one, then someone is 100% getting the next one. 100%. Jeffrey Combs, no. Come on, you guys are going to kick yourselves. So who hasn't answered? I think you all did. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. Really? Okay. So no one gets it. Robert Englund. Robert Englund. Remember, he shows up trying to hunt him down. Robert Englund. Okay, someone's getting this, so be ready to type fast. This is the slasher category. What camp did Jason Voorhees drown as a boy in the Friday the 13th film series? What camp did Jason Voorhees drown as a boy in the Friday the 13th film series? That's not written well, by the way. Boom, Uncle Pete got it first. See, I knew everyone was going to have it. Yep, Crystal Lake. There you go. Uncle Pete gets a point. We got this. All right, Uncle Pete for 1. See, I think it's just you got to be looking out for those easy ones. I think it's basically what it comes down to. Okay, next card. This is the paranormal category again. What is the name of the mansion in The Legend of Hell House, the film from 1973? Crystal Meth. John. What is the name of the mansion in The Legend of Hell House from 1973? Oh, I didn't know that. I would have thought something a little more obvious, but nope. This is what I'm saying. Some of these questions. There are a bunch of these questions, really. Oh, man. Castle Grayskull. I love it. No, but I like that. See, John, that's what I thought. It would be something easy like Hell House. No, it's not. I've seen the Legend of Hell House before. It's been some years, but... Uncle Pete, you got any guesses? No. Okay, I'm just going to reveal it. No one gets it. Belasco House. Belasco House. Belasco. I don't know. Mr. Deutsch's Mansion. Alright, so the next category, monster. What creatures does Godzilla fight in Godzilla 2014? Oh, okay. I see where they're getting at here. What creatures does Godzilla fight in the film Godzilla from 2014? Uncle Pete. Muto. Or massive unidentified terrestrial organism. Good job, Uncle Pete. That's a second point. That's point number 2. Alright, you got 2. I'm just going to put it as a number. There we go. Okay. Good one. I don't think Ghidorah. Are you going for Ghidra, Marshall? I don't even know what the spelling of it is, though. Mothra is not a bad guess, honestly. Okay, so the next one is the gore and disturbing category. What is the name of the butcher Leon has to replace in The Midnight Meat Train from 2008? That's a good flick. What is the name of the butcher Leon has to replace in The Midnight Meat Train 2008? Awesome. Someone block Mr. Pete. Benny? Benny, he says? Nope. Not Benny. I didn't know this one. It's been a while since I saw that film. I don't know this. Barry. Some good name guesses, though. I like these. No. No one's got it. John, any guess? Okay. So no one got it. Mahogany. Like the wood. Mahogany. Sure. All right, next one. Psychological. What is unusual about how Steven Soderbergh's film Unsane was shot from 2018. And I know this has come up before. People have seen this. What is unusual about how Steven Soderbergh's film Unsane was shot from 2018? What do you mean, Leon Rich? I don't understand. I don't understand. Yeah. Uncle Pete got it. It was all shot on an iPhone. Yep. Uncle Pete again. Yeah, Uncle Pete's running away with it. I think Uncle Pete's doing voice to text. Is that what's going on? I'm kidding. Okay. So Uncle Pete's got 3. Someone else got to get on the board. Someone will, I'm sure. Okay. Next is the comedy category. And Rich, are you jumping in on this? You can, if you want. What is the name of the giant marionette in Killer Clowns from Outer Space from 1988? What is the name of the giant marionette in Killer Clowns from Outer Space from 1988? Someone's got to know this. I didn't know it off the top of my head, but when I looked at the answer, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. So maybe it's one of those. It's not the full name, Uncle Pete, but I'm going to give it to you. Jojo the Clownzilla is the full name, but I'll give it to you for Jojo because that's hard enough to get. Okay, so Uncle Pete's got 4. Now we're moving to the last category on this card, which is slasher again. Who was Mary in love with that caused her to kill her friend's family in High Tension? The film from 2003. Who was Mary in love with that caused her to kill her friend's family in High Tension 2003? If you haven't seen that film, massive spoiler there. Good job, Trivial Pursuit. Jesus. No, not the mother. Boom. Oh my gosh, Uncle Pete. Alex. Yep, he got it. Good job, Uncle Pete. That's good. That's good. All right. Uncle Pete's, you're halfway there, man. Someone's going to get one. A bunch of these I haven't even known, though. Yeah, it is a great movie, Uncle Pete. It is a great movie. I need to rewatch it. Okay, so we're back to the paranormal category. Who sacrificed herself to keep the ghostly Diana from killing her daughter in the film Lights Out from 2016? Who sacrificed herself to keep the ghostly Diana from killing her daughter in Lights Out from 2016? I've seen that movie once. It's been some years. Don't know. Sister. Didn't you say mother? Oh no, Marshall said mother before. Say sister. That's funny. No, not sister, not Diana. Yeah, I assume no one's going to get this. Probably because Lights Out isn't that good of a movie, so no one remembers it. The answer is Sophie. Very forgettable character. Okay, now we're in the monster category. What creature is known as Monster Zero in both the classic and modern Godzilla film series? What creature is known as Monster Zero in both the classic and modern Godzilla film series? This should be your category, John. Right? You like the older Godzillas, right? Yes, there you go, John. I'm not going to ding you on spelling. You got it. Ghidorah. Good job, John. I knew that would be yours. It's like, he likes Godzilla. And that's the thing, like I was saying, like I got like 3 Godzilla questions when my wife was reading them to me last weekend. Okay, so John's on the board with 1. Let's see if we can get everyone on the board with at least 1 before we're done. The 3-headed one. Yeah, it's a cool one. Okay, so the next one is gore and disturbing. Who drops Tom into the saw machine in the film Slaughterhouse from 1987? Who drops Tom into the saw machine in Slaughterhouse from 1987? That's a good question, Marshall. Is Godzilla technically horror? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a monster, so it gets thrown in there. Okay, that's a name. I've not seen Slaughterhouse, by the way, so. Yeah, Tightweight's with me. Hasn't seen it either. Jake, good guess. I would make a similar type of guess, you know. Yeah, I haven't seen Slaughterhouse. Ooh. Ooh. There's an interesting one coming up that I think someone could get. Are you kidding? Okay. Chester. Okay, I'm gonna, no one gets it. It's Buddy Bacon. Buddy Bacon. Okay. Got it. Alright, so moving on. The next is the psychological. What cry of terror does Danforth make after driven mad in the film At the Mountains of Madness from 1936? Why are we doing again? What cry of terror does Danforth make after driven mad in the film At the Mountains of Madness from 1936? First we get the question about At the Mountains of Madness, the book, and now we get the question about the movie. Oh, maybe it's the book too. I don't know. We probably don't know this one, do we? I don't. Well, Marshall, I mean, I've watched White Zombie before. I will say that. That's from the 30s. That's worth saying. Oh my god. No, yeah, no, I get it, Marshall. No, you're fine. Uncle Pete's just no. I wouldn't know how to answer it even if I saw the movie. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to put it out. It's... I don't even know if I know how to pronounce this. Tekeli Lee. Apparently it was borrowed from an Edgar Allan Poe story. I don't know. Only one Scream I know has an actual name, but I can't think of it. Alright, so the next category is comedy. What is the name of the retirement home terrorized by the titular mummy in Bubba Hotep from 2002? What is the name of the retirement home terrorized by the titular mummy in Bubba Hotep from 2002? Yell. Someone might get this. No, Uncle Pete. Haddonfield. Yeah, everyone would be retired at Haddonfield. So, I'm going to call it there. I saw it 4 days ago and I still don't know. Oh, man. Okay, so Uncle Pete, you were close. I'm not going to give it to you because it's not quite right, but it was Shady Rest Retirement Home. Not giving it to you, unfortunately. You got Shady, but it was Shady Rest. Close. Slasher category. Let's get it. What game did the women play to try and force Danielle to confess to bullying others in Into the Dark episode New You? Oh, crap. Okay, so Into the Dark is a series of horror films on Hulu. I haven't seen any of them. What game did the women play to try and force Danielle to confess to bullying others in Into the Dark episode New Year, New You? Not a clue. Someone might know. Oh, someone might be able to just guess this. John. Yep. It's the Never Have I Ever game. Yep. John, you got it. Spin the bottle. I mean, all of it was close. Like the Truth or Dare, that's pretty close too. All right, so John, you're up to 2. There you go. All right, so new card, paranormal. What did wealthy 19th century families like the Blackers hide in the title room of The Disappointments Room from 2016. What? Okay, I'm going to reread this because I don't understand. What did wealthy 19th century families like the Blackers hide in the title room of The Disappointments Room? Okay, so what? Okay, what did they hide in the room in the movie The Disappointments Room? I haven't even seen this. I didn't even know this film existed. 2016. I don't. What is this? Oh, okay. Marshall, it's worse than bodies. Tight weight. That's a pretty clever guess there. Close, John. Ish. Yeah, no, it's disabled or afflicted children. I don't. I mean, should we? Do you think? Okay, so I'm gonna let people. I'm gonna let you guys vote on this. Do you think John should get one for saying a child? Because technically, it is. No, the child is in the Mandalorian. Nice, Marshall. Because technically, I mean, it was a type of child. I don't know. What do you think? Disabled or afflicted children? Should we just give it to John for child? Tight White says yes. Why not? I'll wait to hear from. Okay, Uncle Pete says yes as well. Okay. But it was a body too. Nice, Marshall. Nice try, Marshall. Okay, so John, you're at 3 then. All right, now Monster. Rock star Sting portrayed what famous scientist in the film The Bride from 1985? Rock star Sting portrayed what famous scientist in the film The Bride from 1985? Give it to me and give it to me hard. I mean, I put it in pretty with authority into my phone, so I did in a sense, John. Frankenstein, Dr. No. Oh, yeah. Tight White, you got it. Dr. Frankenstein. To Jennifer Beals' Eva, the bride he creates. Good job, Tight White. You're on the board. Ba-ba. I don't know if you like legit knew that or if it was just a guess, but Charles Frankenstein, I like it. All right, gore and disturbing category. What ends up killing the murderer in Shredder, 2003 film? What ends up killing the murderer in Shredder from 2003? I haven't even seen it. I've heard of it. I haven't seen it. Wood chipper. A rope. Nah. It's not Clue, Marshall. He falls. No, it's not a Life Alert commercial. I mean, I don't... Okay, so... The answer is Shredder. Literally. So... Yeah, so the answer is Shredder. But... Is it... Has anyone seen the film? Let me know. Have you seen the film? And if so, is the Shredder like a wood chipper type thing? Because if it is, I would give it to Tight White. But I don't. Otherwise, did I say the answer before you had said that, Uncle Pete? I don't think so because the video's on delay. It's for making snow. Oh, really? Yeah. Okay, you did. Okay, got it. So we'll just move on to the next one. Oh, he did say it before I did? Okay. All right. I trust you, John. I'm going to give that point to Uncle Pete then. So Uncle Pete is at 6. All right, so the next one is a weird one, a lot of weird ones. So the next one is the psychological category. What role-playing game is based on the Cthulhu myths and named after an early H.P. Lovecraft short story? What role-playing game is based on the Cthulhu myths and named after an early H.P. Lovecraft short story? Might be able to get this. D&D. It's the only tabletop game you know, Uncle Pete. It's D&D. I used to play D&D and Pathfinder, which is similar. Fun stuff. Someone might be able to pull this one out. Aria. No. No, no one. Okay. The answer is Call of Cthulhu. Next. Cthulhu and you go way back. I actually, it's funny, on my the back of my car, I have a sticker that says Cthulhu is my co-pilot. So, because people have those Jesus is my co-pilot things. I have Cthulhu as my co-pilot. Comedy. Who does Bruce Campbell's character Sebastian Haff claim to be in Bubba Hotep? Another Bubba Hotep question. Who does Bruce Campbell's character Sebastian Haff claim to be in Bubba Hotep? Film from 2002. Oh, yes, and I did miss that. Heather did get it, it looks like. So Heather's on the board with one. Sorry, I don't know, I missed that. I got her down. Heather's on the board with one. And yes, Uncle Pete, Elvis. Elvis. Uncle Pete, you are at 7 now. You're getting there. You're getting there. John, you got 3. Tightweight 1. Heather 1. Come on, Marshall, you're going to get one at some point here. It's going to happen. All right, now we're on the slasher category. What book leads Marcus to uncover the killer behind a decades-old murder in Deep Red from 1975? We watched Deep Red. Most of us have, I believe. What book leads Marcus to uncover the killer behind a decades-old murder in Deep Red from 1975? My friend got me to play it with his group a couple of times. Was it cool, Heather? Because I love tabletop gaming, so... And Cthulhu, count me in. To Kill a Mockingbird. Nah, Marshall, it's not that. Some of these things, it's like you just really have to be detail-oriented when watching movies. Which, like, sometimes I am, but it depends on what movie it is. Necronomicon. And not a bad guess, really. I have it on OG Xbox. Nice. Some kind of folklore book. No, The House of the Screaming Child. Interesting. It's just like the Disappointment Room. Alright, back to paranormal. Why does Sadie want to kill Evely's child in the film Visions from 2015? I don't know if anyone's seen this. Why does Sadie want to kill Evely's child in Visions from 2015? I don't even know if I'm saying that second name properly or not, but that's the best I can do, guess-wise. Better look at the answer. Okay. Satan. Just Satan is the answer. Satan's child. She thinks the child is the spawn of Satan. Everyone's guess is the Satan? No. It's, I mean, not bad guesses, honestly. Alright, so the answer on that one is hers was the child that died in Evely's car accident. My ex-wife. Okay, the next one, Monster. Some people might know this. How many days each 23rd spring does the Creeper come out to hunt for body parts in Jeepers Creepers from 2001? How many days each 23rd spring does the Creeper come out to hunt for body parts in Jeepers Creepers from 2001? No. I'm not seeing the number yet. I've seen some close, very close. No, is Heather there? Oh, you're rewatching it this month, Marshall? Nice. 2. Okay, just throwing out numbers. Okay, no. No one got it. It's 23. John, you were really close with 27, and Marshall even closer with 25. You were almost there, Marshall. Almost. All right, next one. We're going to gore and disturbing. What key is fatal to a demon's host when inserted into its chest in the comic Lock and Key from 2008 to 2013? What key is fatal to a demon's host? I said chest before, sorry. What key is fatal to a demon's host when inserted into its chest in the comic Lock and Key, which is partially done by Joe Hill, Stephen King's son. I've read those comics. They're very good. Very good. The Lock and Key show on Netflix is solid, too. Yep. John, you got it. Alpha Key. Good job. You're up to 4, man. You're creeping up. Tight white beta key. Psychological. In the 1963 novel The Collector, what insects does Clegg collect? In the 1963 novel The Collector, what insects does Clegg collect? I don't know who Clegg is, but... Flies, worms, crickets, moths. Boom, Uncle Pete. There you go. Butterflies. Some close stuff. Uncle Pete got it. Uncle Pete's up to 8. You are within finishing distance. Getting there. Comedy. Whose diary do the Monster Squad have to translate in order to find a magical amulet in the Monster Squad from 1987? Whose diary do the Monster Squad have to translate in order to find a magical amulet in the Monster Squad? 1987. Dracula. Maurice. Boom. There you go. John's got it. Dr. Abraham Van Helsing, but I'm going to give it for Van Helsing. Good enough. Don't have to get first names. All right, John, you're at 5. Pretty good. Now the slasher category. In trying to recreate a unique scent, what type of girls does Jean-Baptiste Grenot kill in Perfume, The Story of a Murderer from 1985? I've been wanting to check this out. I've heard it's interesting. In trying to recreate a unique scent, what type of girls does Jean-Baptiste Grenot kill in Perfume, The Story of a Murderer, 1985? Boom. Marshall. Marshall, this is your one, dude. You got it. Nice. Teenage girls. Marshall is on the board. Yep. Good job, man. Yeah, Heather, I've heard of it, and it's been on my list to watch, because I've heard it's pretty whacked. Like, whacked out and crazy. Alright, so the next category, again, we're going back to paranormal. Who gets summoned if you knock twice in the film Don't Knock Twice in 2016? Who gets summoned if you knock twice in Don't Knock Twice from 2016? So you literally do what the film says not to do. Did they... Oh no, they misspelled. They misspelled this. They misspelled on the card. I know what it's supposed to be, but okay, yeah, John got it as Baba Yaga, but they wrote in their answer Baba Yoga. I'm gonna have to write them. Say Trivial Pursuit. You screwed up. All right, John, you're up to 6. Creeping up, man. Alf. I like that. Okay, monster. What type of animal can Mercy Thompson shapeshift into in the novels by author Patricia Briggs? What type of animal can Mercy Thompson shapeshift into in the novels by author Patricia Briggs? Okay, interesting. That's a bad film. Who the fuck would know this? Yeah, I know. No, it's not a wolf. Not a bear. It's not a wolf or a bear. Although, you know, I would probably guess wolf, honestly. Just because I don't know the thing. Nope, no one got it. It was coyote. It's coyote. Okay, so the next one, I know this. I know this next one because I just watched the second season of this show. This is gore and disturbing. What does Charlie Manx's car's license plate read in the novel Nosferatu from 2013? What does Charlie Manx's car's license plate read in the novel Nosferatu from 2013? Also done by Joe Hill. The book. Yep, Uncle Pete got it. Yep, it literally is the title of the book. Uncle Pete is one away from taking it. He's one away. But John, you're at 6, so you could. You could. Everyone's on the board, though. Including me. Thank you, Marshall. Alright, so the next category we're going to is psychological. What alias does Borgman use when he meets Richard and Marina in Borgman from 2013? Or Borgman, I guess I should say. What alias does Borgman use when he meets Richard and Marina in Borgman from 2013? Okay. See, I don't know barely any of these. I don't know a whole lot of these. Be interesting if anyone knows this one. Because it seems super random. Oh! Have you seen this movie, Uncle Pete? Uncle Pete got it. That was it. That was it. It's over. Chicken Lips. It was Anton. I don't know. I've never seen this movie. I haven't even heard of it. So, don't know. I just want to read the last 2 questions on here just for fun. Comedy. What is the name of the serial killer that may be in detention with Clapton and Riley in the film Detention from 2011? What is the name of the serial killer that may be in detention with Clapton and Riley in the film Detention from 2011? This is just for fun. It's an interesting name. I like the name. It kind of makes me want to check out the movie, honestly, based off this name. Alright, it is Cinderhella. Spelled Cinderhella. Cinderhella. That was funny. And then the last one from this card, just to round it out, for Slasher. Which Melrose Place star played a good and evil twin in the slasher film The Initiation from 1984? Which Melrose Place star played a good and evil twin in the slasher film The Initiation from 1984? The characters they played were Kelly and Terry Fairchild. Answer Daphne Zuniga. Zuniga. I don't know. So, done with that. Now let me get some feedback real quick. Do you guys want to do this trivia competition again next stream in 2 weekends? Because if so, we can do that. If not, we can just do one movie. We can do 2 movies. We can do whatever you guys want. And then also, Uncle Pete, since you won, I said there would be a form of prize. And if we decide to do this again, I will do the prize again. So, email me your address, Uncle Pete, and go to either something like Diabolic DVD or Scream Factory or something like that, and pick out a movie, or if they're cheap enough, 2 on Blu-ray or DVD or whatever you want, around no more than like $30 value. And you don't need to factor in like tax or shipping or anything like that, just around $30 or below. And then I will ship it to you as the prize. Because I said there'd be a prize. I just wanted to do that because it's October, so we need to do something fun like that. Email address is brutal. Well, I'm going to put it in the chat so it's easier. It's brutalbattlepodcast @gmail.com. Let me make sure I have it right in there. Brutal Battle Podcast. Okay, there you go. It's in the chat. Yeah, no problem. So honestly, like if there's something that's like $25 or something, and it's one that you want, fine. If there's like 2 that are like $10 or $12 or something that you want, that's fine too. Just, nothing more than $30, and I'll just have it shipped to you. So, would people like to do more of the trivia next week? Let's save it for once. Oh, okay, once a month. Okay, good point, Blue. Once a month sounds cool. I don't know if we do it once every month, if I'll do the prize thing, but I just wanted to do that since this was the first time and it was October. So maybe I'll just make sure that every time we do it in October, there's a prize attached because it's October, you guys. But yeah, if you guys just want to keep doing the trivia, yeah, we can do it once a month. So then what movies do we want? Do we want just one movie for the next one and make it one we can talk a lot about? Do we want to do 2 movies? What's everyone feeling at this point? Get him the Trick or Treat Studios Chucky doll for $600. Yeah, I don't think that would get. No way. I wouldn't even get that for myself. Put it that way. Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat. Oh, yeah, we could. We could do Trick or Treat. That would be appropriate. I love that movie so much. Every single year after handing out Halloween candy, which I will actually not be doing this year, every single year after that, I always watch Trick or Treat before I go to bed and drink a beer. Because I usually drink beer while giving out candy. So, yeah, it will be the last one before Halloween. Yeah. So Trick or Treat would be good. Well, I mean, we could do a very Halloween double feature. Okay, I got it. What do you guys think about this? We could do Trick or Treat, and we could do the Mortuary Collection, which is coming out on Shudder on Thursday, October 15th. And it's an anthology film that feels very Halloween, in my opinion. Oh my god. I got concerned for a second, Heather. Who be Halloween? I mean, if you guys really wanted to do that one, I would say yes. But yeah, I'm glad that was a joke. I do think that could be a good Hocus. I mean, I would be open to Hocus Pocus, honestly. It's not bad, and Mick Garris did it. I think it's fun for what it is. It's kind of scary for kids. I've seen Trick or Treat a ton of times, so I'm good with that. Cool. What the hell is Who Be Halloween? I mean, I'm not sure you need to know, Uncle Pete. I'm not sure you need to know. I mean, it's an Adam Sandler Halloween movie that just hit Netflix, so you know. Oh, really? Wow. Okay, Marshall, you haven't seen Trick or Treat. Okay, well then, I mean, I feel like we definitely got to do it for that reason. We have to do Trick or Treat because he hasn't seen it. Yeah, exactly, Uncle Pete. Yeah, you don't want to know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, a lot of people hate the Adam Sandler stuff nowadays. I just know there's a guy named Sam. Sam's like the best part of the movie by far. Okay, so let's just do that then. We'll do two movies. Let's do Trick or Treat and let's do the Mortuary Collection on Shutter. So I assume everyone. Do you guys all have Shutter or have another way to see the Mortuary Collection if you don't have Shutter? Yes, 100% Marshall. Trick or Treat is one of my favorite movies. Period. I love it. It is phenomenal. And I guess it's very fitting that during the stream I've been watching the Michael Dougherty Ghoul log on Shutter. So yes, awesomeness. Yeah, the date for the next stream is the 24th. Yeah, Saturday the 24th. John, you have Shutter and Full Moon, which has come out with the uncut version of Tourist Trap. Whoa, okay. Um, Extra assignment for John. Watch the uncut version of Tourist Trap and report to us on the next stream what is in the uncut version. Like, what's the extra stuff? Because I am very intrigued by that. I've got to know what was cut out of that. Probably more of the dolls doing the ha ha ha. That's my guess. I'm sure there's something interesting in there. Yeah, so Saturday the 24th will be the next one. So we'll do Trick or Treat and we'll do the Mortuary Collection. I have a feeling that you guys will enjoy the Mortuary Collection. You have to look at your phone to see the date. 10 plus 14. Yes, Heather, because I'm tired and old at this point. Cron, don't forget about Black Christmas for December. I know Heather already reminded you. Yes. So I purchased the Blu-ray of Black Christmas for myself last night through Scream Factory for their sale. It was like $12 or something. Yeah, it was like $12 for the Black Christmas Blu-ray. So I got it. So all right. Yeah, this was fun, you guys. Thanks so much. Maybe they cut out a sex doll scene. Yeah, I mean, that's possible, John. It is. You'll have to watch 24 horror movies by then. Yes, you will, Marshall. Later, gotta run. Good having you, Tight White. Thank you. Hopefully, dude, I just saw there is a sequel to Patrick. There's a sequel to Patrick? Nice. I gotta get my hands on that. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Good times. Good times, you guys. God bless all and stay safe. Everyone stay safe for sure. Have a good night. Yep. Everyone, thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. Trick or Treat, Mortuary Collection, going to be a good time. Hit those horror movies hard, you guys. And thank you very much. Until next time, keep it brutal.